What does it mean to be America's most reliable network? Right now, it means helping those who serve stay connected to their families. They're on the front lines every day, giving the most they can. So Verizon wants to give them something back. Introducing our best pricing ever, $30 per line for all nurses, teachers, first responders, military, and their families. Not for a few months, but for as long as they need. Because the people we rely on deserve a network they can rely on.
Thank you to those heroes as we see them doing tremendous work every day to keep us connected, keep our families going, and to make sure that everything is going right in our world. We're going to talk more about those folks today, as well as the impact that our own military community has on us. Remember, we have a lot of V-teamers who are veterans, and we'll talk more about them as well. So we've got quite a lineup for you here today. We've got Tami Irwin, who leads our Verizon Business Group, Guru from Verizon Media, and Ronan from the Verizon consumer team. We're going to get updates from them as to what's happening in their world, and then get to some of your questions as well. So want to start out with the updates. Tami, we're coming to you first. Good afternoon. How are you doing, and how's the team?
Good afternoon, Jeremy, and thank you. It's a pleasure to be here with my colleagues this afternoon as we talk a little bit about what's happening in our business. Let me start first with employees. You know, on Friday, Hans and Christy spent some time walking through the Employee Pulse Survey, and I just want to add my thank you to the team for actively participating and giving us feedback. What we saw last week was really the top line scores, but as we dug underneath the detail and the comments that you thoughtfully provided, we're getting more and more insight into how we think about what must be true as we plan for a return to an office environment or a return to a customer environment. So just a big thank you for all of you who took the time to participate. It says you're actively engaged and we're all in this together. Secondly, one of the things I'm excited about, and a big thank you to Lou Tedrick and her team, is some training that we were putting all of our managers through. And it's about leading in a crisis. And as we all think about how do we provide the right kind of leadership in a crisis, this has been important training as we think about being the most effective version of ourselves. So Lou and team, thank you for your ongoing commitment to education and how we make sure that we continue to be students of the business, even in a crisis environment. We're also continuing in the theme of employees to do more and more recognition, and I call them the everyday heroes that we see in our business. And we've done 150 all-in recognition moments since we started COVID. And just as a reminder, we're in about day 100 for our global team. So during that 100-day period of time, continuing to recognize people for being all in, for showing up as superheroes. So thank you. As I think about customers and what's happening in our business, a lot of really important activity. Let me start with small and medium businesses. So TJ Fox and the team there. Last week was an important week. We gave out $210,000 grants to small businesses on behalf of the program, Pay It Forward. And what a great honor it was to be able to represent to those small businesses that Verizon is their partner of choice in good times and in the difficult times. So really nice work done there by TJ and the team and the marketing team with Diego and team. We're also doing webinars a couple of times a week for small businesses as they think about restarting their business and how they manage through this crisis period. And we're also continuing to win business. We had our biggest security deal ever in our SMB team this week, really driven by the importance that businesses are placing on security during this crisis period of time. In our enterprise team, led by Sampath and the team, a lot of really good activity happening there. We closed 2 really important incremental deals, new revenue to the business, and that's important for us as we think about continuing to deliver on our targets for the year. We also have seen our overall pipeline continue to grow, and much of that is being managed by Mike Bickle and his team as we think about many of those things in the funnel are being put on customer hold. So whatever we can do right now to be prepared so that as customers come back to work, we're ready to execute those very, very quickly. I would also tell you that Sampath and the team are using this time to be very, very clear on which accounts we win, a strategy and approach to winning those accounts and making sure we have the full assets of Verizon to bear against the opportunities that are there. And then on public sector, we just won 2 new states this week. Those states represent 2 new states that will have the opportunity for education for their kids on the Verizon wireless network, and so proud of the work that Andres and team are doing to serve those who serve in the school environment as well as in the public sector environment. So lots to be proud of up and down the teams and the work that they're doing. As I think about where we are today, we were really moving from reacting and responding to beginning to reimagine. What does our world look like post-COVID? And I have to tell you, as I've had a chance to talk to customers, now more than ever, they are excited about 5G. They recognize that 5G from Verizon is unlike any other 5G, or as my colleague and friend Ronan Dunn likes to say, it's 5G built right. And we're certainly seeing that as customers look to accelerate their digital transformation journey. You take the 5G asset that we have, the cities that we've launched in, the cities that we're continuing to launch in, a big thank you to Kyle and team. You put that with Blue Jeans and you have a winning combination for how you do things different for remote workers, for how you imagine telehealth, how you think about virtual entertainment, and the list goes on. So I'm pretty excited about not only the work we're doing today, but how we think about reimagining our future as we come through and navigate our way through COVID. Jeremy, back to you.
Tami, thanks so much. Always good updates there from you and your team, and I appreciate everything they're doing there, and more about that new revenue and some of that pipeline when we get to Q&A here shortly. Next, I want to go to Guru from Verizon Media. Guru and his team, always busy. I was watching Yahoo Finance over the weekend on their live stream of the Berkshire Hathaway annual meeting. Guru, how's the team doing? What's new from you?
Hey, thanks, Jeremy, and I hope you had a good birthday weekend. I know there was a lot of celebration from what I heard, but that's good. Look, at Verizon Media, you heard some of the updates during Up to Speed. We've been doubling down across many things in businesses, consumer and the customer and advertiser side. I'll start with our employees first. Really proud of how they've showed up across the board in the last 8-9 weeks. But also, we recently started a big idea challenge, which was about new innovation, kind of hackathon ideas. We had almost 600 submissions across the entire organization. We just wrapped up the Hack from Home phase, where teams took the top ideas out of those 600 submissions and turned them into tangible next steps so we can start moving into execution mode. So that really brings me pride how we've quickly changed to the new normal and working through it. Second, on the customer side, as you've seen in Up to Speed, we've continued to make momentum on our product execution, both for our consumers and then on a B2B side on advertisers and publishers. A couple of things I would mention there. We've seen a lot of shifts as they reassess how advertisers and publishers are managing their businesses and how they engage with their audience. Our teams have also quickly pivoted to meet our partners' needs in this time. One of the examples I would call out is our partner Ampersand. We actually made an announcement on that today. It's a TV ad sales company. We announced a partnership where they will be exclusive seller for our Fios TV inventory, and Verizon Media will be the primary buying platform for OTT inventory. This relationship was an important milestone from our VMG's kind of roadmap perspective to develop leading omni-channel capabilities for premium sources of demand. And again, in areas like travel and sporting advertisers where they've seen a big drop in demand, we are helping them find ways to still engage with their audiences while they plan or the comeback when that happens. A great example there is Allstate, who will come back and now spending from an insurance standpoint across a lot of our content. And then the other piece I would mention is on media platforms, which actually does a lot of streaming, and we'll talk about this a bit more. We've seen a big jump in terms of peak traffic increasing almost 56% on some of the streaming side. We are still adding new advertisers on our platform, even though they may be spending less depending on the category. We've added almost 50% year on year in April in terms of new advertisers. So that speaks to a lot on the business side. One last point I'll make on consumer. We announced Yahoo Life, a wellness hub that focuses on mental, emotional, and physical well-being. In a post-COVID world, these topics continue to be top of mind for people as they navigate a new normal. Yahoo Life delivers resources, news, content on well-being. It also focuses on positive and uplifting news, which we all need a lot more now, and people are craving for it. And related to that, we also did a $10 million advertising inventory donation to several mental health organizations to double down on that. And overall, COVID and the ecosystem, at least on the coronavirus side, has seen about 3.7 billion page views in the last few weeks, mainly in news and finance, as you mentioned. Berkshire Hathaway was a big success for us as well, which happened on Saturday. So that's how the team is managing, how we are focused on customers and society. Jeremy, back to you.
Guru, thanks so much. Always interesting to hear what you and the team are up to, and we have some questions coming in for you as well. Always excited to hear about new growth, as both you and Tami have mentioned. So, want to swing the boat now over to Ronan Dunn, who leads our Verizon Consumer Group. Ronan, how are you? How's the team?
Thanks, Jeremy, and delighted to have the opportunity to give an update on what's going on in consumer. But let me just start by a special shout out to Tami to congratulate her for her appointment to the board of directors at John Deere. Huge achievement. Congratulations. So what's going on in consumer? Well, two things, just a reminder to everybody. First thing is we're showing up how and where our customers would expect from a network point of view. We're making sure that everybody has the data they need. Those people who are maybe on legacy plans that had limits on minutes or other things, we're dealing with that. And we're committed to keep Americans connected, and we've extended that commitment out to the 30th of June. So we're really creating a framework in which we want to try and reduce the number of things that consumers have to worry about. And at the same time, we're building out from the insights of both our strategy and also what we're learning from this new situation about how we change how we show up on behalf of customers in a way that meets the expectations of our employees, their health and well-being, but also allows us to have the opportunity to exceed our customers' expectations, which at the end of the day is what the consumer business is doing every single day. So that has allowed us to innovate around our products and services. So the first thing, and I talked a little bit about this in my last session here, was how we've innovated delivering Fios and Fios in a box. Amazingly important. And I tell you, the big thing that I see is people realize how important their connectivity is at home. And they realize that the caliber of what we offer in Fios is second to none. So not just existing customers who maybe want more bandwidth or want to go, at higher speeds, but also people who know that if they're going to be working at home, if they're going to have students at home, if they're going to have gamers at home, that the only place to be is on the Fios network, and in due course in the 5G home environment. So huge shout out to all the team and the Kevin Service and the team for the amazing innovation that they're showing there. And I'm getting it in my emails as customers telling me, I'm amazed how you've been able to help us and support us in this time. In the last few days, a couple of examples, people who are medics in the front line who are now doing video calls and supporting their customers that way, so that they're taking patient interactions on video and needed to have their Fios installed in a new location. Also putting in a extra line for fax machine so that prescriptions, other things can be passed through. So really practical things while meeting the expectation of the health and well-being of employee and of customer. But we've also innovated around the whole retail space as well. And we actually had the opportunity to issue a white paper similar to some of the work that Tami and her team had been doing around different types of remote working. We've actually written a white paper under direction of the retail team, where Krista has been able to share our innovation and our thought leadership around touchless retail. And that's really creating an environment where we're not just simply addressing issues like social distancing, but actually creating a sustainable, viable, scalable model for our retail, which brings out the best of Verizon and delivers a great customer experience. And that is allowing us to now build out the footprint again. So a few weeks ago, we were at 30%. Today, we're about maybe 40-odd%, and we expect reasonably quickly to move to 50% of the retail stores open. But that model and that touchless retail strategy is the template which will allow us to open out all the other stores in due course. You couple that with the fact that we've expanded out our capability for telesales, and that's allowing us to meet also more customer needs there. So we're starting to see the volume of business, a bit like Tami described, starting to build up again. That coupled with the way we're showing up in customer service, supported not just by the great colleagues in customer service that we have every single day, but by many new colleagues from retail who've been part of that redeployment program and the second wave of that redeployment happening at the moment. So when you take it from the perimeter of the network and making sure the access is there and take it all the way through to how we're serving and supporting, and then you put icing on the cake, as you saw in the advert, which we ran right at the beginning, the best just got better because we've expanded out the coverage of our special offer for those who serve to bring teachers and nurses into the equation. So I think you'll find that, like Tami's business, like Guru's business, the truth is we're doing what you would expect in Verizon. We're doing the right thing for employees, the right things for customers, and we're creating a new normal.
Ronan, thanks for that. And some more questions from you. Reminder, if you have a question that's on your mind, you can always email us live@verizon.com. Before we get to Q&A, I want to go back to Tami real quick. Tami is the executive sponsor for Valor, which is our ERG for Verizon veterans. Tami, I want to give you an opportunity to share some more news about that group and the things that they're doing for employees and society this month.
Okay, thank you, Jeremy. And I have the honor of being the sponsor for the ERG Valor, which, as you said, is a military recognition, a military resource group. And if there's one thing that lives in my heart, it's an incredible sense of patriotism and gratitude for all of those who've served our country. And this month, we recognize and celebrate the military community and their families. We have over 10,000 Verizon V-teamers who have served our country. And so today, in a very small way, we recognize them with this video that we're going to show. But no, it's an entire month of celebration that we really owe them. We owe them a debt of gratitude. And we're going to start that with this video. Let's run the video, please.
My name is Tami Jones. I lead the military and diversity recruiting programs. I'm also the leader of the Verizon Valor Employee Resource Group. May is Military Appreciation Month, so we aim to thank V-teamers who currently serve or former military personnel that have served. Some of the things that we're doing for Military Appreciation Month to show recognition, Military Spouse Appreciation Day is May 8th. So we'll be doing stories on military spouses within the company. We're going to be doing a Carry the Load event May 11th through May 25th. It'll be virtual. It'll give you an opportunity to exercise, show your patriotism, and capture that on the volunteer platform to get credit for your volunteer hours. So each state has nursing homes for senior veterans. So we're giving the opportunity for you to write a letter and send it to those veterans nursing homes and be able to give them an opportunity to hear words of encouragement from our employees. The other thing that we have is Say Thank You through Operation Gratitude. That is focused towards our frontline first responders that are currently dealing with COVID and supporting the nation. And then the last thing that we're doing from Military Appreciation Month is we're doing a moment of silence the weekend prior to Memorial Day, just to pay special tribute to all those that have given the ultimate sacrifice. What I love about Verizon, the flag never rolls up. We constantly support military year-round, day in, day out, through different programs, whether it's from activating our National Guard and Reserve, to our hiring commitment, to providing it from a customer standpoint. This is a great way to continue the momentum of supporting your military community.
All right, Jeremy, as we wrap that video, maybe just a couple of comments. First of all, Tami is one of the most impressive V-teamers I know. If you saw behind him, you saw the flag and you saw the V-check. He's also a Credo Award winner, and I think it speaks volumes about the work he's doing. He's offered all of us the opportunity to participate this month as we think about being involved in military appreciation. So I hope you'll join us. Jeremy, back to you.
Thank you so much, Tami. Do appreciate that, and I appreciate the work that Tami and the team that they do. I want to lead off with this question for Guru that came in. Tell us more about how you and the Verizon Media team are connecting the USO and bringing some entertainment to folks around the world.
Sure. Hey, thanks, Jeremy. And I'm actually very proud of what Tami just talked about in the video, showing how much we are standing and leading from front and supporting all. But you may not be aware of it. The pandemic, as you've probably seen in the news, has seen a large mobilization of troops from the Corps of Engineers building temporary field hospitals to National Guard troops being called up. And given the current challenges, the USO found itself unable to provide entertainment to the troops. So we are donating the use of our digital media streaming platform to help them deliver their iconic talent engagements virtually. We've long been committed to supporting the USO and military services members, including those across Verizon Media and our Valor employee resource group, who help connect the USO with our media platform team. So I'm really proud that we were able to make this happen. And during this global pandemic, a few hours of entertainment can make a difference to our brave service members who are putting themselves in harm's way. Back to you, Jeremy.
Yeah, Guru, thanks for that. Always good to see what's being done there for all the troops. Ronan, I want to ask you this next question. You mentioned retail redeployment. How is that going, and how long do you see that program going forward as a way to keep our customers connected?
Thanks, Jeremy. So a couple of things. So just a reminder to people, we're in the second wave of now of retail redeployment. Some people taking web chat, taking calls, and others in the telesales environment. So look, what we'd like to do is make sure that we have the opportunity for those who want to go back into their retail to go back as stores open and as opening hours extend. And so you will see about another 1,400 people who will be going back into the retail stores, you know, in the coming weeks in this next wave. So really, Nancy and Krista working together to make sure that we have a balance of resources available in each place. And I think one of the things that I observed before is this is a fantastic opportunity. I had the chance to do an Instagram live with the team in Your Voice Matters. And the point that I was making is if you just think of the huge benefit of people from the retail environment having the opportunity to be exposed to the customer service environment, and people in customer service having the opportunity to work so closely with retail people, it really means that even though as people go back to their traditional roles, I think it'll enhance our ability to truly be omni-channel, which is this idea that wherever the customer touches, we have the same understanding, insight, and ability to help. So really what we would expect is you'll see more mobilization of people going back into the retail stores starting now and go over the coming weeks. And that will go in waves as we build out both our touchless capability and as more locations open up. But we're also open-minded to the opportunity that some people may have fallen in love with the customer service environment. And if that is the case, I want to make sure they have the opportunity to work in that environment if that's something they would choose.
Ronan, thank you for that. Tami, coming to you for this next question. Earlier, you mentioned new revenue and new pipeline of folks. I know we do a lot of international business. Talk to us a little bit about the international portfolio, how that team is adjusting, and how international businesses are still being impacted by this as finding new ways to work as well.
Yeah, so thank you for the question, and thank you for the acknowledgement that we do have this big international team. Guru has people, Kyle has people, I have a team of people over there, and they're incredible fighters. They fight for our brand every single day. And as I said earlier, they've been at this for 100 days. And so their customers are becoming increasingly anxious to move the ball forward. We had a chance this morning to go through a deep dive of each one of our accounts and the open items that we have as deliverables. And what we're seeing is in the markets internationally, they're beginning to say, let's start doing business again. Let's start doing the installs. Let's start doing the deployments. In particular, they're focused on how do they accelerate that digital transformation journey. We were having conversations with customers around the world about digital transformation, the importance of that on their business. This has only fueled that, and as they're now beginning to imagine a post-COVID environment, they realize they want to do business with a partner who not only showed up well during COVID, but a partner that's leading the world in 5G. And that's true even though our leadership on 5G is here. We're recognized around the world as having that leadership, and it's showing up in how our international team is telling the story of Verizon's trust, innovation, and leadership overall.
Tami, thank you for that. Now I want to go to a quick lightning round here with the three leaders. While I've got them, that's one of the nice things about kind of being the person who's here doing all of this. Lightning round. You know, last week we mentioned the gratitude of attitude, and you know, so many ways to say thanks this month with so many different things going on. So Ronan, going to start with you, Guru, and then Tami to wrap us up. So at least you know the order. Ronan, really quickly, 15 seconds or less. What are you thankful for right now?
You know what I'm really thankful for? I'm really thankful for mothers. As Mother's Day comes up, I have Elaine with me here. I'm blessed to have my 91-year-old mother as well. And I just think there's a huge amount of pressure on families at the moment, and mums are always the ones who show up and hold everything together. So I'm really grateful and thankful for mums.
Shout out to moms. Hopefully my mom's watching right now. She does from time to time. So, hey, Mom. Guru, to you, what are you thankful for?
Hey, look, I'll tie into that, but I'm grateful for renewed connections with families and friends. The stay-at-home orders have actually led me to reconnect with people I haven't spoken to in many, many years, and those relationships bring me so much joy, from Friday night gaming night to Saturday night gaming. And then, of course, I've been speaking to my mom a lot, which is great. I'm getting a lot of cooking tips, so couldn't be more thankful for that. The last one I would just say is grateful for all the employees' dedication, how much they've stayed to it, even though it's been 9 weeks now into it.
Awesome, Guru. Thank you so much. Appreciate that. And let's wrap it up with Tami. What are you thankful for, Tami?
Okay, what to do when somebody else has already taken yours. But listen, I am grateful for educators. Both of my grandmothers were teachers. My daughter has spent several years teaching middle school. I think we're all learning the value of teachers and how much they do. They don't just teach our kids the ABCs and the 1, 2, 3s of life. They teach them core values. Everything I know I learned in kindergarten. I'm incredibly grateful for teachers and the role they play in our world.
Awesome. Thank you, Tami. Thank you, Guru. Thank you, Ronan, for joining us today. And teachers, today is Teacher Appreciation Day. So a lot of families out right now benefiting from teachers and helping them, guide them through the new remote learning that so many students are doing around the world. So thank you, teachers. And we'll end with one more bit about that. And again, my thanks to Tami, Guru, and Ronan. A couple of things to hit on here before we wrap up. Chris, if you want to go ahead and take the first slide. Reminder, we talk about resources. Anybody can download the Inside Verizon app onto your device to stay up to speed on everything happening around and inside Verizon. We've got our resource pages there, stories about what our teams are doing. So go ahead and give that a download both on Apple and Android. Next, some of us this morning got this survey from the GTS IT team. Do want to say that this went to select employees, not folks in Verizon Media, out in the field, retailer customer service teams, but it's important for us to give our feedback to the team about our experience. Be sure to get that done by 5:11. They got my feedback in. And want to end today with two pieces of thanks. The first one here, this was shared with us by Tina Marie Fleur George, her husband, Mike, who is an 11th grade history teacher, teaching class today with his 11-week-old grandson. Amazing teacher, she says. She is so proud of him, and our Verizon services allowed him to teach seamlessly. Way to go, Mike. Thanks for being a teacher and a great grandpop there, it looks like. One more that we got in from a customer, Ronan mentioned, we're getting some customers switching from other companies and using our Fios self-install box. This came from J Million NYC, who got a Fios and a box install. Went smoother than expected. Of course, they'll come up back later and kind of clean it up a bit. But he says, Tech Guy Jude was clutch. Walked him through everything without entering. Sweet upload speed. So Jason, thanks for sharing that with us. And of course, tonight we will continue to support our small businesses through our Pay It Forward series. Tonight, you've got some gamers, Nate Heel and FaZeClan, giving sportscaster Joe Buck and actor Oliver Hudson a gaming crash course in support of small business. Joe Buck has also been doing some play-by-play on Twitter recently. That's just fun to watch. So that should be fun to see how that all goes down tonight at 8 p.m. Eastern. Right here, you can tune in on the Verizon Twitter channel for that. So we will be back with you again tomorrow. Like I said, today is Teacher Appreciation Day. Thank you so much to our teachers out there. I want to showcase one of our Verizon Innovative Learning teachers and how she's keeping her students connected. Have a good day. We'll be back with you tomorrow.
Hi, I'm Ms. Liebman. I'm a 6th grade teacher with the Verizon Innovative Learning program in Louisville. Verizon Innovative Learning is a program that brings tech education opportunities to schools that need it most. The tech has obviously been especially helpful for at-home learning. So I'm going to take you through what a week of virtual learning looks like since this all began. The first thing I did was set up my space. I found that The more accessible things were in reaching distance, the more comfortable I felt. And this is something I shared with my students, making sure the space that they are setting up to do their virtual learning from is comfortable. I'm also going to be recording today a little kind of like how to be successful at home for NTI. As my students already know, I love my Bitmojis, as you can see, so they get always a huge dose of those. When I do my recordings, I use what's known as Screencastify. Love this ability to record. Hi, Team Inspire. Hope you guys are having a good weekend. Ms. Liepman here. I'm going to go over a few little things that can help you be successful at home. Thanks for stopping in. As I tell my kids, I'll see you online tomorrow. Bye.